Softball Regionals presented by Capital One. And welcome to Ronda Revelle Field at Bowling Stadium here in Lincoln, Nebraska for the regional final with the 4-seed Nebraska Huskers taking on the Lopes of Grand Canyon. These two teams squared off yesterday in the winner's bracket. A gem of a performance from Jordy Fromm. In fact, a career-high 16 strikeouts in the shutout win. And that meant GCU had to come back and play last night, and they played extra. A walk-off, Jada Cooper blasts it right back up the middle. Their second walk-off of this postseason. And so they are into the finals, trying to get to the Supers for the first time in school history. They'll have to win twice today for Nebraska, one win away from hosting the program's first Super Regional right back here next weekend. And of course, they are led by their four-time soon-to-be All-American Jordy Fromm.
Yeah, Jordy Fromm is a superstar both in the circle and in the batter's box. Jordy Fromm in the circle has one of the best rise balls in the game. She had those 16 strikeouts against GCU yesterday, gave up just the one hit. She can expand the zone, she can mix speeds. She is just a force to be reckoned with when she is on in the circle. Her next win will give her her 20th. And then in the box, she can also swing at a 400-plus batting average, 19 home runs, so her next home run will give her 20. She did that last year. She was a 20-20-plus winning pitcher as well as hitter in home runs. If she does that again this year, ladies, she will be the only athlete in D1 history to ever have a 20-20 back-to-back seasons.
Well, Grand Canyon, they're going to match her up with a long ball. Sydney McCray leads off. Had a slap yesterday for a home run, and Emily Gonzalez in the heart of this order backed that up. That was 2 runs in Friday, and then back-to-back yesterday for Grand Canyon. This was home run number 90 for Tinley Lucas for the team, and then Ellie Pond backing her up. Hit it off the scoreboard. Ride that on to a win. And you look at all the program, first mentioned the 91 home runs, a walk, slug, on-base runs. They are breaking records left and right. Starts at the top with Sydney McCray. A lot of power, a lot of offense for this Lopes team.
Going to be an electric atmosphere watching Jordy Fromm and the Huskers here at home as they try and advance and host a Super for the first time. Starting lineup brought to you by Capital One, and for the Antelopes of Grand Canyon, champions of the Mountain West Conference. Those 4 that are highlighted are your home run hitters, a couple on Friday and 2 more last night. They did not hit any out against Nebraska and Jordy Fromm yesterday afternoon, but it is a new pitcher out in the circle this time. The winner against South Dakota on Friday for the Huskers, it's Alexis Jensen, the winningest freshman in the country at 23-2.
Well, Jensen, just an electric arm in the circle. The lefty has great spin, a really good drop ball at the lower half of the zone. She can mix speeds as well. Backdoor curve balls, rise balls, she can really expand it. She's been outstanding. 23 wins on the year, and when she pitches ahead, she just owns the game.
Sydney McCray will start things off. Senior out of Sarasota, Florida, had 3 hits and a home run in their opening game here, and had a hit last night against South Dakota as well. Playing in their 4th game now in 3 days, trying to come out of the loser's bracket. They have to try and beat the 4-seed Nebraska twice today. Jensen missed it away, 2-1. Drops that foul outside the line left.
Staying all the way to Sydney McCray. That's how they got her out. It's a different pitcher in Jordy Fromm, but 3 strikeouts. And that pitch up and away.
Jensen, the lefty freshman from Gretna, Nebraska. Nebraska Player of the Year, and starts out the day with a strikeout.
Well, this is where Jensen is so tough against lefties, is just she'll throw this curveball and she'll run it both on the inside and the outside part of the plate. It's leg sharp movement.
Here's Reagan Holtorf. Fouls one off, 1-1. Down in the dirt. Thanks, Alex. We'd like to welcome those of you that have been watching Texas advance to the Super Regionals, to our Lincoln Regional Final here at Nebraska. Beth Mowins alongside the Olympic gold medalist Jessica Mendoza and Michelle Smith. And you just saw Reagan Holtorf knock one out into left for a 1-out base hit. Grand Canyon has to win twice today. The Lavender Lopes will try and get something started early here. And for the Huskers, 2-0 this weekend, 1 win away from staying at home for the Supers for the first time in school history. And here's the number 3 hitter, Jada Cooper. She had the game winner in extras last night to stay alive. They knocked out South Dakota. The Lopes beat the Yotes to advance. One of their 3 double-digit home run hitters right in the heart of their order here. 3, 4, and 5. Offense that set a new school record with 91 homers. And they are on pace for new records for slugs, walks, and runs scored as well. 0-2 pitch coming from the freshman, Alexis Jensen, throwing in the biggest game of her young career, and it scoots away from the catcher, Jessie Farrell. So Holtorf now in scoring position after the wild pitch. Out of Gretna, Nebraska, the Big Ten Freshman of the Year, likely will be one of the 3 finalists for National Freshman of the Year honors. Her 23 wins, the most of the rookie class in the country. Cooper knocks that one to short, 2 down.
Nice pitch by Jensen, making sure she's getting in on the hands of Cooper, not letting her get extended.
It's been Jada Cooper pretty much all weekend long. Anything inside, she keeps moving off the plate, but good job by Jensen jamming her inside.
That'll bring up Trinity Martin, the grad transfer from Virginia Tech. RBI opportunity early. Jensen gets the swing and miss. Grand Canyon beat Louisville on Friday, then lost to this Nebraska team yesterday afternoon and knocked out South Dakota in 8 innings last night. The Nebraska loss for Shannon Hayes, their only shutout loss of the season. And the one hitter from Jordy Fromm, the fewest hits they've had in a game this year.
Well, the biggest thing was the swing and miss. I mean, they tripled what they normally swing and miss in on the season. This is a big contact, big power hitting team. It just shows you how good Jordy Fromm was in the circle.
1-1 to Martin, and there's another swing and miss.
Jensen doing what Fromm did yesterday, using that rise ball effectively at the top of the zone. That was the pitch that Fromm was able to really get them to chase out of the zone with.
Jordy gets the start at first base. Quite often she comes on in relief for Jensen later in games. They've been a terrific 1-2 punch for the Huskers. Champions of the Big Ten Conference in both the regular season and their postseason tournament, beating the UCLA Bruins. There's Rhonda Revelle. A rarity that an active coach gets her name on the field, but that's what they've done here for their longtime head coach and former player. She's the winningest coach in Husker history and a Hall of Famer already. 2-2 with 2 outs. Foul back by Martin. And the Lopes, champions of the Mountain West, enjoying the best season in school history. 52 regular season wins, tied for the most in the country. And the umpire just went down to talk with Shannon Hayes about the batter, Trinity Martin. And was that a pitch clock violation for a 3rd strike, possibly? We'll find out. Get you caught up when we come back after this. Starting lineup for the Huskers brought to you by Capital One. Hannah Core has been dynamite through the first couple of games here in Lincoln. A pair of run-scoring triples in each of their games. And Hannah has been their fire starter in the lineup. She will bat second behind Jordy Fromm. And they will face Oakley Vickers, the sophomore lefty who picked up a win in their opening game here against Louisville with a complete Game 4 hitter for her 16th win of the campaign.
And Vickers has been good this year. The sophomore lefty can really spin the ball. She's done a good job of controlling the strike zone and using her pitches. 9 strikeouts in her first game at the regionals, giving up just 1 earned run.
And Jordy Fromm will step in here, the senior from Papillion, Nebraska. Second full season with the Huskers after a freshman and sophomore stop at Oklahoma, where she was a part of 2 national championship teams, and then decided to come back home to Nebraska. And boy, have they just lit this program on fire. The hottest ticket in town. Sellout crowds. Standing room only crowds. They've added extra bleachers since Jordy has returned home. And the berm, as usual, filled to capacity. And Jordy and her mates, most of them seniors, will try and win today so that they can treat the fans to more softball next weekend in the Super Regional, where they would have a date with either Oklahoma State or Stanford. One and two, the count from Vickers, and a rope right off the glove of Pond. And the lead off aboard.
This ball smoked 77 miles an hour, and Jordy Fromm has such quick hands. We talk about her athleticism, so many things to talk about. This pitch is on the inner half, and watch her just drop the barrel. Smooth, compact, get the barrel to the ball, and that's right, 77, that's 12 miles an hour over a normal hard hit ball. She leads this thing off with a base hit.
Now reached safely in 44 straight games. This has been the issue the last couple of days for Nebraska. Pitching, stellar. But it has been their weakest 2-game run of their season. Just 6 runs on 10 hits. And the offense has really struggled to get started. They have not done bupkis in the first 4 innings of their first 2 games. Can they change the narrative here this afternoon in the regional final? Look at that, the first 4 innings and then the last 3 innings.
Yeah. Beth, to your point, they weren't even threatening. Just no opportunities. So this is a huge statement right here. Opportunity in this first inning with a lead off on.
All their scoring has been in the 5th and 6th innings, all with 2 outs.
Hannah Corr's been the most clutch of all of them. Rare hits, but she's got 2 triples in this tournament.
Here's the 1-2 from Vickers. She's been getting ahead of the first couple of batters.
What Hannah Corr does a really good job of is all her hits have been opposite field. She sees the changeup well, stays inside the ball. Watch for her to try to poke some to the right side.
Tries there.
And that .325 batting average for Corr is a little deceptive because she had a very slow start in February, but she has been on fire as of late. She is 500 here with those 2 triples and 2 RBIs at this regional.
Fromm was going and skied out to center. Fromm will have to hustle back to first, 1 down. On the catch by Sydney McCray. And for the Huskers, that'll bring up Hannah Kamenzen, one of the 2 Kamenzen sisters in the lineup from Valley, Nebraska. They both started out their careers at Arkansas, and then, of course, when Jordy came back, a lot of other native Nebraskans decided they wanted to come back home too. It has been a special regular season. Can they turn it into a magical postseason run? In the best regular season in school history, they reached #1 in the final poll of the season this year for the first time ever. And ended up with the 4 seed in the tournament. That's the best ever. And has got a couple of extra base hits. Flips that one, 1-2. Against Oakley Vickers, who makes her 44th appearance of the season. That's top 10 in the country. Fromm goes, the throw is high, the tag applied and got her. And the throw down from Lucas.
Tinley Lucas is going to get a nice quick release. And it's a good pitch to throw on. The throw's a little bit high. It looks like Fromm may have gotten the foot in there. They don't challenge it.
I'm thinking if Jordy felt like she was safe, she would have said something. She didn't. So Rhonda was looking right at her. They trust her instinct. I mean, no one knows better than her if she was safe or out. She came running off the field.
2 challenges. If you win it, you get to keep it.
That's a massive out.
Huge.
Yeah, with the 3-4 hitters coming up. Ooh, wow.
It's hard to make that decision early in the game, challenge or not.
Dustin Douglas, Vince Price, Jerry Jones, Kelly Demianu, our umpiring crew today. Camenzind sends one deep. Back it goes and out of here. Off the batting cages building in right field. And the Huskers have their first homer of the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, this is what was missing from this Huskers lineup. The long ball, the extra base hits, and Hannah Camenzind in this 3-hole. It hurts a bit that Jordy just got thrown out at second base. They love a 2-spot on this, but watch the pitch location inside and up. Beautiful job meeting this pitch. And by the way, off the building, out in right field. Camenzind, 8th home run on the season, helping this senior class.
That put a charge into this home crowd. They have been held kind of quiet early in games because of the lack of production, but not today. They're going to be jacked.
Not just barreling the ball up, right? Hitting the ball hard. We saw Jordy Fromm do that in her at-bat. Now Camenzind.
Swing and a miss for Ava Kuzak. There you see the Camenzinds next to one another. Kuzak, another one of the seniors in the lineup. They have 12 on the roster, 7 of them start. So while they've been talking a good talk about staying focused one pitch at a time, you know, back of your mind, you got to know this is our last dance together. We better make the most of it. Sometimes that can free you up. Sometimes that can add a little pressure. And so that's why Rhonda Revelle talked to us this week about managing the moments, especially in front of a massive home crowd like this.
I'm really playing it one pitch at a time and not thinking about much more.
Two-two to Kuzak, who her teammates call the heartbeat of this year's team. 300 hitter with some home run power. And the count goes full.
Good job not chasing on that pitch on the outer half. Vickers likes to throw that backdoor curveball away from righties and get you to chase off the zone.
Ava's looking for her first hit of the tournament. Has reached 3 times with a walk. Reaches for that ground ball to short. Wilkinson stays down on it and gets her. Solo swat for the early Nebraska lead.
Talked about the senior class. We're going to talk about them a whole lot. They want to get into a super regional. They're going to need all the bats and the power they can get. First home run here in the NCAA tournament. Hannah Camenzind hits her 8th to put Nebraska up 1-0.
championship, rallying from a 9-run deficit to win the final and the automatic bid. And then this was the scene last night. Jada Cooper scoring Sydney McCray in the 8th inning to win it and to advance to the regional final. They were the last remaining undefeated team this year. Started out 30-0 and just kept on winning. A program record for long balls, and they have been clutch when they've needed to be. We also found out pregame the Lavender Lopes uniforms here. They are 10-2 on the season when they go to the Lavender. So they're trying to shake things up a little bit, knowing they've got to win twice today. Led by their Mountain West Coach of the Year, Shannon Hayes. He's been there 5 years. They've been in the NCAA tournament all 5 years from the WAC and the Mountain West. Emily Gonzalez will lead things off 5, 6, and 7, and we did get some clarification on the final out of the first inning with Trinity Martin. We'll address that shortly. Gonzalez, the DP today, one of their 4 home run hitters over the last 2 days. They call her Emily Gonzo from Southern California. Had 2 home runs last year in the regionals against Arizona and Ole Miss. They are no strangers to playing Power League teams. Their one trip to the regional final was a couple of years ago, and they did it out at UCLA.
Keep firing. Here we go. Here we go, defense. Here we go.
Emily Gonzalez, her swing, kind of a closed-off swing. She does a great job against left-handed pitching because of it. She kind of creates a better angle. Her slugging percentage doubles against left-handed pitching.
2-2 from Jensen, fouled off.
Yeah, so it's the slug and the average. 458 against lefties. There are some righties that just see the ball very well in the left-handed pitcher's hands.
Gets the swing and a miss on a rise at the eyes. 1 down. So let's go back to what happened with Trinity Martin, guys.
Well, we've seen this from Trinity Martin, that front foot, watch it step towards the plate. She ends up out of the box on that foul ball. Because of that, look at the second base umpire immediately calling her out of the box when she made contact, even though it was a foul ball. She's automatically called out. That was the 3rd out of that first inning.
Any part of that foot out of the box, and that's a problem.
Usually see it with slappers. Rarely do you see it with a hitter. And we kind of started to see Trinity Martin. It's still a rough call. I mean, she's a couple inches over the line there, but she is out of the box.
A lot of the intent of that rule is to keep slappers in the box.
Here's Addison Shiflett, the freshman from Liberty Hill, Texas. Her teammates say she's already playing like a veteran. Set Mountain West tournament records with 4 home runs, 14 RBIs, and she hit 500 in helping them win the title. One hit here at the regional. That came on Friday night against Louisville. And that drove in a run.
Watching Alexis Jensen. I mean, she gets a lot done in the 20 seconds that she's got pacing around that circle. Just intimidation at its highest. Eye black smeared down her face. Intensity.
I read too. Yeah, there's definitely a swag to her. But a terrific compliment from Jordy, who calls her fearless in the circle.
Yeah,
Nobody better to learn from than from.
Talked about idolizing her. High school, that was someone that she looked up to and couldn't believe she got the opportunity to play with her.
About the opportunity, because Fromm actually had the injury, her first year coming back to Nebraska 2 years ago, so she's a fifth-year senior.
Something that Jordy was aware of when she had that knee injury. She looked at incoming freshmen in Nebraska and saw, ooh, this stud pitcher, Alexis Jensen, I got to play with her now.
Out to left, Natalia Hill fighting the wind, which has been an issue all weekend. It is blowing out to left presently. 2 down.
We've talked so much about the wind blowing in all weekend. This is the first time we have seen it whipping. Look at those flags out of the park. So finally, remember, we didn't have a home run until the 3rd game yesterday. Talk about this season with all the home runs, but you saw just on that last one, Hill having a hard time picking that up.
Here's Tinley Lucas, the junior from Washington, Oklahoma. All first-teamer in the Mountain West. Has a couple of hits in the tournament, including a home run solo shot last night. She and Ellie Pond went back-to-back. Ellie's on deck.
Tell you what, too, Tinley has been amazing behind the plate as well. And you see her down here in the 7-hole, but she's thrown out both base runners that have tried to steal on her, including Jordy Fromm last inning.
Freshman Jensen is so strong in the circle when she is throwing from ahead. Look at those splits. Batting average against 151 when she's ahead, but look at it. Goes all the way up to 365 when she works from behind. She has been susceptible to the long ball. She's given up 22 home runs this year.
Grounder to Sammy Bland, and it's a 1-2-3 second inning. 1-0 Huskers.
You know, they were talking about the infield and the outfield, and they feel each other. Well, our team feels the crowd, and the crowd feels us, and the people in the dugout feel the people on the field. And
it has been a fabulous weekend here with the folks at Nebraska, and the hometown crowd electric, especially with so much homegrown talent. They're hosting a regional for the first time in over a decade, trying to host a super for the first time ever. They're the hottest team right now in the country, winners of 23 in a row, and ranked #1 in the country and the 4 seed in the tournament. Both are the highest in program history. They have the 1-0 lead on Hannah Kamenzen, one of the Nebraskans with a home run. 5, 6, and 7 ready to go to work against Oakley Vickers. This is Jessie Farrell.
This Nebraska team, losing to Tennessee last year in the Supers, it was a big heartbreak. Fueled their fire in the fall, allowed them to really have a lot of conversations about how, why, how they can play together, handle the chaos.
Farrell the opposite way, and Shiflett is there, 1 down.
Well, and it also made a difference the way Coach Revelle scheduled this year. They played a really tough preseason, pre-conference, non-conference, because they knew in order to stay home and host, they had to have a better RPI. They had to have those stronger opponents.
They took on the best in the country. And with a strong non-conference strength of schedule, they get the 4 seed.
They said no to no one. That's a big part of it.
Here's Sammy Bland, the 3rd baseman.
Remember, no one would play Texas Tech, and Nebraska said, heck yeah, sign us up. Right off out the gate, give us Nigel Kennedy, give us everybody.
Well, in those hard games, they pay dividends this time of year. They give you that confidence to put the hay in the barn.
Played Tennessee, played Georgia. They wanted to make sure they dipped their toe into the SEC pool as well, with how strong that conference has been and proven to be in the postseason. 12 SEC teams playing in the regional finals today around the country. And yet this is the best regular season they've ever had, winning 87% of their games. Bland sends one back, and that's high off the top of the wall. And sliding in for a double is Sammy Bland. 3rd hit already for the Huskers, and after slow starts the last couple of days, a different story today.
Back-to-back 2 extra base hits. This one off the wall. Samantha Bland, and she's been swinging a hot bat. Don't count her out down here. This is up out of the zone. She meets this, and by the way, misses a home run by maybe a couple feet off the wall. McCray isn't able to play it, but either way, it's going to be a double for Bland. Now 1 out with a runner at 2nd.
That'll set it up for Casey Hoffman, the senior out of Elkhorn, Nebraska. Rhonda Revelle calls her one of their secret weapons. Plays with a quiet confidence. She started out at Arkansas with the Kamenzen sisters before coming back home. Down the line foul got out in front.
There is now just a conviction with these hitters. We did not see this. They were getting caught in between pitches like that. That changeup dominated this Nebraska team. They weren't picking it up. Casey Hoffman not only recognizes it, she jumps all over it. Crushed it a little foul.
And understanding the pitcher too, because Vickers does not throw as many changeups as Batterton and some of the other Lopes did against them yesterday. Just 5% changeups from Vickers. And so they're looking a little bit more hard.
Shannon Hayes will head out to talk with Vickers.
You'll see this a lot from Shannon Hayes. He calls timeout, talks to his pitchers for a length of time, goes through mechanical stuff, and even with his hitters, you'll see him mid-at-bat, call timeout, grab hitters, make sure they understand what their body needs to be doing.
This pitching staff has been solid. They are top 20 in the country in ERA and WHIP, and they have already set school records in shutouts and strikeouts. And they are getting busy in the bullpen. It's going to be all hands on deck, needing to win twice today.
Good job by Hoffman. Going down both lines. She can pull, she can go oppo.
But you can tell she's trying to be a little bit late. That left on left. We saw it with the changeup. She jumped all over that. Vickers is known for that curveball, things going up and away. So Hoffman trying to see that ball deep.
Yeah, Vickers is definitely more upspin.
One-two pitch. Getting that pitch count already up close to 40.
You get anything in the air today, you guys, it is going out of this park. That wind is whipping. Hoffman elevates it all. It's going to leave the yard.
Vickers working that curveball away, trying to attack her. She'll throw it on both sides of the plate. So she'll throw it backdoor, which is inside, trying to bring it around the back side of home plate. And then she'll throw it on the outer half to the lefty, trying to extend that strike zone.
1-2 coming again from Vickers. Hoffman, high chop to second. Holtorf's only play is over to first. 2 down, and Bland now at third.
Productive out for Hoffman. She's got a 60 feet for her teammate to move up.
Just better at bats. I know Casey Hoffman gets out there, but she battled. She fouled balls off both sides, worked Vickers deeper in the count. Nebraska offense has scored all 7 runs with 2 outs. That's the situation they're here now with Alexis Jensen, the pitcher, up to bat right now.
.333 hitter on the season with 6 home runs.
Her first at bat of regionals.
And I love that they're letting her swing away while she's pitching. At times they've had her just be a PO, as we like to say, a pitcher only in the lineup. But she's fun to watch. She has all that emotion in the circle and takes a big cut.
She's getting her hacks in. 1 and 2.
Well, you know her heart's beating here. First chance in that batter's box, just swinging through that changeup.
See if Vickers tries to bait her a bit. Doesn't go for it.
Nice take.
I know Vickers doesn't go to the changeup a lot, but it's hard to not think it's not in her back pocket after that last swing. Tries to throw it again.
And the count goes full. Bland down at third. Doubled and then advanced on a ground out. 3-2 pitch. Got her. Bland stranded. Vickers with the nice K to end it.
Hopefully Vickers, using that curveball in the lefty-lefty matchup, gets really good tight spin, picks up the strikeout with a runner in scoring position.
The NCAA Softball Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
So plenty of mayhem already. A seeded team has been knocked out. Texas Tech had one of the greatest rallies in the history of the tournament. And the SEC is all over the bracket. Already 4 teams have advanced to the Supers. The 1, the 2, the 6, and the 10 are moving on.
I like this matchup. Ellie Pond versus Jensen. Another hitter in this lineup, does well against lefties. She had the big home run yesterday. If Jensen comes inside, that's right into the wheelhouse of Pond.
Nice take.
Holtorf with the 1 hit so far as we head down to the bottom of the order for the first time. Oh. Nice change.
And this is where, though, as Ellie Pond, you are sitting in, right? That angle is going to come inside, and Jensen is so good with the off speed. You catch yourself unleashing on a pitch you think is coming, and then you pull that string.
She come back with it.
But what I'm more curious about is when she comes back in hard. Because now for Pond, she's got to protect for that changeup. And what I was saying was a great matchup has now gone a tick down because of that beautiful changeup Jensen's now thrown twice in a row.
2-2 pitch. Does not chase the rise for a count.
And that's where it's tough because she sees a couple of changeups, rise ball upstairs, and she holds it. It's a very good take for Pond.
Jensen, a strikeout to start the first inning, a strikeout to start the second inning. Trying to make it 3 innings in a row. And doesn't get her.
That was almost down the middle.
Wow.
Wow.
Maybe low, but this is definitely middle of the plate.
Wow, that looks like it's on the knees to me, so seeing that out.
Ball 4 to Pond, and that'll bring up Haley Wilkinson. Trying to lay down a bunt to advance the runner.
Sydney McCray on deck. Although she's struggled against Nebraska, 4 strikeouts in 2 games. Not even 2 games, a game and a third basically. But she's definitely been one of their best hitters, trying to get back to the top of the lineup.
Gets another swing and miss.
Nice rise ball at the top of the zone, brings that pitch inside. When Jensen is throwing that rise ball up and into lefties, that's where it's tough because then she can extend the zone on the outer half. Like that.
She was telling us too, you know, she's learned from watching Jordy and talking with Jordy. You know, you don't just fire it by people anymore. So much of it is in your mind and competing with your mind as well as your physical tools. Heading the count here, 0-2. And a ground ball to first, knocked down by Fromm, and everybody's going to be safe. Was there any interference or any contact on the base paths? That's what Rhonda Revelle wants to find out.
Yeah, and it almost did look like there was contact between Fromm and the base runner.
But Jordy needs to be vocal about it. Rhonda's asking Jordy, and I'm surprised she's not clear one way or the other, which tells me maybe she didn't.
Scoring right now is an E3.
I want to look at it.
Going on, there's interference. In that play, I tried to review.
I think he said the ruling on the field was no interference. And now Nebraska wants to review. Yeah, she does not run into her at all. No contact.
Make sure the ball doesn't hit her. No, it's off the glove. I mean, Jordy seemed to indicate that she wanted to call for a review. Does her glove get her at all?
It's actually really good base running by Pond to avoid the ball and Fromm. Is in Fromm's sight line, but that's not really an infraction.
Nope.
No, in fact, as a base runner, a lot of times you're trying to time it to do just that. As long as you don't make contact, you want to make it hard for the fielder to see the ball.
If it stands, I believe they're going to give Fromm an error on that.
Yep.
This is a Husker defense that has done very well. Just 35 errors on the year.
Yeah, on pace for the fewest in school history. Nebraska and Arkansas, the only two programs in the top 20 in runs scored, ERA, and fielding percentage.
Oh, and this is big for GCU, too.
After review, the ruling on the field is no.
So no interference.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. Which means they had visual evidence to keep the call as it is. And now 2 on for the top of the order.
See if they bunt McCray here. More than likely they will try to move the runners up.
Bunted foul.
Boy, and that's tough, but in that situation as a lefty, you've got to make sure your bat angle is on the field of play. The bat cannot be back over the plate. It's just going to go foul.
We saw it with Haley Wilkinson prior. They're already going to first base, so this is not a drag situation. Especially, honestly, right now with the corners, I would not bunt her. I would let her try to pound the ball into the ground because they are up in her grill. Yeah.
Yep. Try to get the running start there.
Yeah, agreed. We've seen a lot of high hops here on this infield. It's hard. It plays well for slappers.
Close Samantha Bland is at third base in her grill.
Jensen keeps it upstairs.
I would.
Harder to pound it down.
Yeah. And if McCray's going to chase it.
Yeah, don't put it anywhere near the zone.
1 and 2.
See if she strikes herself out.
Struck out on the curveball her first at bat. That went to the curveball there, but you know she's coming right back upstairs. Not a whole lot you can do with the one over your head. See if McCray will swing at it again.
One-two pitch. Goes up to get it and sends it out to center. And a core is there, 1 down. That'll bring up Riley Holtorf, who singled in the first. Her 4th hit of this tournament. Excuse me, her 7th hit of the tournament. She's on base 7 times in the last couple of days. As the wind starts to swirl around home plate, you can see the chalk flying up a little bit. Ground ball to short, they'll get the force out. 2 down. That'll bring up Jada Cooper. Popped up to short back in the first inning.
Nice first pitch on that changeup early often. She's also done a good job, Jensen, at working from ahead. First pitch strikes over 80%.
I'd sit in. If I'm Jada Cooper now, you got the changeup. I would look in and just sell out.
She tends to see a lot of pitches. It's either an extra base hit or a walk, pretty much, over the course of the year for Jada.
She just backed off the plate a little bit more. She got jammed her last at bat. They got in that kitchen.
1-1 pitch from Jensen. Pops it straight up in the air, and that's going to drift back into fair territory, but bounce foul before anybody could touch it. And Sammy Bland looks over to the dugout and says, oops, should have called everybody off to get that one, the third baseman.
Yeah, Farrell, she's going to go up, and you could see that ball immediately start to come back toward the field. You can see she takes her mask off, but it is just blowing way past her. Definitely Sammy Bland's ball on that, or Jordy Fromm coming in from the corners.
But if you
and thank
watch,
goodness they didn't touch it.
From that look, neither one of them wanted it. They were both looking at Jessie Farrell.
So another pitch for Cooper. And gets struck out by the off speed.
How about the moxie of the freshman, Alexis Jensen, runners in scoring position, able to come back and get the number 3 hitter in this GCU lineup, strikes her out on the changeup. All that emotion for Jensen.
Welcome back to the NCAA Softball Regionals, presented by Capital One. And welcome back to Rhonda Revelle Field here in Lincoln, where the 4-seed Huskers are taking on the Lopes of Grand Canyon. Beth Mullins alongside our Olympic gold medalist, Jessica Mendoza, Michelle Smith. The Huskers trying to get to the Supers and host here for the first time ever.
And you can feel it. I mean, from the crowd, and you're talking over 3,000 people lining up, going back to Wednesday, and that's exactly why they want to see this team be able to host for the first time in school history.
Yeah, Nebraska knew last year they had to go on the road. Very difficult to make it to the Women's College World Series. Being able to play here at home in this environment is a no-brainer.
And they're taking on a Grand Canyon team. 5 straight trips to the NCAA tournament. They've been in a regional final once before. They are trying for history as well. They need to win twice today to advance to the first super regional in Lopes history. And it's a 1-0 Husker lead on the Hannah Kammensen solo home run in the first inning. Her sister Lauren leading it off here in the bottom of the third. Hannah is due up 4th. Taking on Oakley Vickers. She got the win, a 4-hitter with 9 strikeouts to beat Louisville on Friday.
She had a day of recovery yesterday. She threw a little bit in the pen to get rid of a little bit of soreness, but Vickers has been kind of the mainstay of this staff, although they say we don't have an ace, but Vickers has been used the most this year for GCU.
Kammensen pops it up, and in foul territory, calling for it is Ellie Pond. 1 down, and here comes Jordy Fromm. That
absolutely crushed a pitch her first time up. 77 off the bat for a single. Hardest hit ball we've seen Jordy hit.
Look at her career in the regionals, hitting over 630 over the course of her 4 full seasons. She missed a year due to injury. Now in her 5th year, her 3rd here at Nebraska. Didn't get a good cut on that offering.
How about Vickers goes right back to the same spot Jordy hit last at bat? Got it a little more inside. Vickers, some fearlessness. Attacking her in.
Not afraid to throw that curveball into righties.
Fromm sends that one down the line, opposite way. A diving grab by Shifty to rob her of extra bases. 2 down.
Madison Shiflett was off the line. She had to come a long way to be able to get to this. It looked off the bat by far. This is going to drop in and most likely be a double, because then it was going to spin once it hit. But watch Addison Shiflett, the hustle, be able to make this diving grab. Would have been a fair ball. Big out against Jordy Fromm.
2 down for Hannah Core. Four years at Oklahoma, winning 3 national championships. But she was primarily a reserve there, just 25 starts in 4 years. Well, she's got twice as many since coming to Nebraska, starter pretty much every day this year. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Vickers and the Lopes, down a run. And we welcome you back to Lincoln, Nebraska. 1-0. The Huskers leading GCU, and Shannon Hayes now joins us on the mic.
Well, Coach, Oakley Vickers, we've talked a lot about her fearlessness, and gives up the home run in the first inning, but has really settled in and getting 3 consecutive outs that last inning. What have you seen from your sophomore?
Yeah, she spins it well, as you guys know. You know, they're picking her change up on her grip, so we're trying to fix that as we go. She's supposed to throw a backdoor in, and she left it over the plate to a really good hitter. But yeah, she's a bulldog, and when she gets it going and gets her confidence going, she always gives us a chance.
How do you fix that in game?
Well, you know, hold it so the first base coach is giving it to the dugout, and hold it like a different pitch and change it during your motion. I mean, it's that easy, and then you can really ruin them, you know, if you do that right. But you know, it's an art, as you guys know.
And Coach, what are the adjustments you need to make against Jensen?
Yeah, make her be down. Make her throw her change for a strike. She's done a pretty good job of tunneling it down, but you know, her velo's down compared to how it usually is. Make her be down in the zone, lay off the rise ball, and get a good pitch to hit. It sounds easy, and obviously it's not.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
You bet.
Well, Lexi Jensen has been strong. Just the 1 hit allowed so far, Smitty.
How about 11 of 12 first pitch strikes? Jensen's been working from ahead, and that's when she's at her best. It's been her curveball, her rise ball, and her changeup for the strikeout pitch. Those 3 Ks, just the 1 free pass given up, and she worked out of the jam last inning.
Facing 4, 5, and 6, Trinity Martin for the Lopes.
Remember, she stepped out of the batter's box to end her last at bat, was called out, so now she's trying to make that adjustment. That front foot, though, she's got to be careful. Not an easy adjustment to make in game.
On the chalk's okay. You get that pinky toe or that big toe outside the line, then run the risk of being called out if they spot it down at second base.
And we had seen her almost step on the plate on Friday. That's how far she'll get closed with that front foot.
One and two. GCU, one of 4 mid-majors to reach a regional final today. Including a St. Mary's team that upset the 14-seed Oregon out in Eugene and knocked out the first-seeded team of the tournament. They'll be playing Mississippi State later today and likely square off against Oklahoma in the Super Regional next weekend. OU right now 4-1 over Michigan in the 4th inning. 1 win away from the Supers. Arizona State threatening to knock out Texas A&M right now, up 5-1 in the 3rd. The Aggies, the 15 seed, has to win twice today.
Kinsey Brown has been good for ASU this year.
Another big day for the SEC. They've already advanced 5 teams to the Supers. They have a chance to host 6 of the 8 next weekend if chalk holds. Possibly more. Swing and a miss, got her to chase. Strikeout number 4, 1 down.
Wow, that is just a textbook on expanding the strike zone. This is a curveball in the outer half that she's going to get Martin to chase. Look at the movement on this pitch and the way that ball just runs away from the bat. Really good spin speed as well as location for the freshman. Jensen picks up her 4th strikeout of the game.
That'll bring up another strikeout victim, Emily Gonzalez. First pitch swinging. That's a fair ball to Bland. Rifles that over, 2 down. And the Women's College World Series returns to Oklahoma City beginning Thursday, May 28th at noon Eastern, live on ESPN. For more info, go to NCAA.com, the home for all NCAA championships. Of course, last year at the World Series, Texas beating Texas Tech, a first-time national champion.
Wow. Jensen's been on fire, those first pitch strikes. Look at that, 14 of 15, and with a lot of different pitches. It's been the changeup, it's been the curveball.
Use those 2 in a rise for her strikeouts today.
No, we talked about it. When Jensen is pitching from ahead, she's just a completely different pitcher. She can control the at-bat. She gets the hitters to chase.
Going a game and a half now against GCU here this weekend. They have really stymied the bats. Jensen and Fromm. Good job there by Jessie Farrell. Go let her freshman catch her breath. Inducing a lot of swing and miss today.
It's hard. Shannon Hayes told us the game plan for Grand Canyon is to see the ball down. The changeup has been down, so I know lay off the rise, but also plays into that changeup.
Called strike 3, and her second 1-2-3 inning of the ball game.
Alexis Jensen just showing how you work the changeup back to back. She uses it as the setup. Look at the location. It's right down the middle, down in the dirt. She gets the swing and the miss. She goes back to it on the outer half for the strikeout looking. Jensen with that great over the top rotation on the changeup. The freshman with the emotion and the passion. 5th strikeout of the game.
One nothing, the Huskers with the lead over Grand Canyon as we return to the regional final here in Lincoln, now joined by Rhonda Ravel.
Well, Coach, we saw the big home run from Hannah, one of the seniors, that first inning. How do you continue to put runs on the board against Vickers?
Yeah, I think we've got a better approach, but we're still just missing it a little bit. So we were just talking here that we're trying to make just a small adjustment. And I'm going to use it again, Michelle, see if we can barrel some up.
You got to barrel them up.
Yeah.
Speaking of not barreling them up, Alexis Jensen's been so good in the circle for you, the freshman. Tell me a little bit about what makes her so great.
Well, she's a competitor, and you can't be successful out there unless you are. She loves the game, she loves to compete, and she's doing what she does, and she's given us absolutely everything she has out there. I mean, a testament to her when we got out of that inning where they rolled over their lineup and had all kinds of speed and stuff. She's fighting, she's battling for us.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Thanks, Coach.
3, 4, and 5 coming up. See if they can find some of those barrels. And well, Hannah already has found one back in the first inning.
Yeah, this is the first home run that Nebraska has hit, which is surprising with all the power that they've got. A beautiful chop off the right field building with a bang. That has been, though, the lone run. Had some other hits and opportunities, but Hannah leading things off again here in the 4th.
Been so cool talking with the Nebraskans about how special this season has been and what they've been able to do, not just on the field, but with the buzz around town and the capacity crowds that have come to back them and support them throughout this phenomenal season. That's going to drop foul.
That ball's got to be caught.
So many of them went away, wanted to get away from home initially, and then realized, you know what, we got something special with Jordy Fromm going back home. Maybe we ought to join her. And look at what they have been able to build here. I mean, just a sea of big red in support of so many veterans and so many native daughters. And one of the cool things, you know, like for the Kamensons, they were former campers here. And they look around the crowd and they see young girls and they say, hey, you know what, that used to be me. And now I'm out here playing on this field, and one day I'm going to come back here and watch those little girls play out on this field.
Well, this has been a very prideful program for a long time. They played for the national championship back in the 80s when Lori Sipple was pitching for them. They've always been really, really good and very well supported. It's just great to see them back here in the limelight in our sport.
3-1 to Hannah Kamenson. And draws the walk. First free pass. Well, home sweet Huskers has been a big part of their story. This is a huge home field advantage, setting a new attendance record, both for the season, for a single game, for the postseason as well. 4th best in the country behind Oklahoma, Alabama, and Arkansas. And they have come out to show their love this weekend.
Just playing in this environment, the home field advantage and the regionals, you win the regionals, the super regionals. They had to face it on the road last year, so they're well aware, having played in Baton Rouge and then at Tennessee, how difficult it is to win on the road in the postseason.
Just, you look at all the different spots, too, to be able to be a fan. You got the stands that have only grown and grown since Jordy has been here. You got the berm where you got families just out. You got the playground, Ace's Place, lovingly named out there in left field. Go down a slide, hang out for a bit. I mean, this is a park, I'll tell you that.
Even the playground's at capacity.
Yeah.
Well, it all starts, of course, with Jordy and her decision to leave Oklahoma to come back home. As we've talked about, it's been a good program over the years. Without Jordy, they won 62% of their games. And now, since Jordy has come back, Nebraska has won 81% of their games, and they are flirting with their first home super regional. And one of the favorites, certainly, to advance to the Women's College World Series for the first time in over a decade. Kennedy Williams is the pinch runner down at first base. Member of the basketball and softball teams. Her mom is the basketball coach. Can they get the Cougs going? She's 0 for so far in this tournament. Her cow, Bolin, actual physical cow, is the unofficial mascot of the team. Pet cow. As you may appreciate, some of these Nebraskans have grown up on farms. Rifles that one to short, but right there is Wilkinson. And they get the force out. One down. Hey, don't miss the NWSL tonight on ESPN2 as Portland goes head-to-head with Angel City. Kickoff is set for 6 Eastern. You can watch it live on ESPN2 or stream the match on your app. Don't forget, Sundays all summer long will be Ladies' Night.
Let's go.
On the ESPN networks. Some soccer, some softball, some WNBA. Nice backhand to second for one, over to first. And again, enough to get the lead runner, 2 outs.
Tell you what, Grand Canyon, there's been so many opportunities for Nebraska. Leadoff batters on, doubles being hit, runners in scoring position, and they have done a good job defensively. Vickers missing barrels.
Well, it's been the same issue here for Nebraska the last 3 days now. The bats staying quiet. You're allowing an opponent to hang around. There's a base knock for Sammy. And certainly GCU has the bats to do some damage if you don't get a little breathing room here.
Good job by Sammy Bland to hit a changeup through that 5-6 hole.
That'll bring up Casey Hoffman in the 7th spot in the lineup. Grounded out her first time up.
Yeah, she had a good at-bat, though. Fouled off a lot of pitches, saw a lot of pitches. And this is where Nebraska has been strong in the tournament, doing most of the damage with 2 outs in that same scenario here.
One and one.
This is a Nebraska team that typically hits over 345 with runners in scoring position.
Pulled down to Cooper at first, and she'll step on the bag to end the threat. 1-0 Huskers as we head to the 5th.
Freshman Alexis Jensen has all that crazy energy. You can see the way that she takes the field every time she comes out, sprints out, shakes off that energy. You can see it in the shoulders and the head, just getting ready to go to work. Jensen with all that energy, pre-pitch and after strikeouts as well. The freshman just getting it done for the Cornhuskers.
She's got a similar juice to her that Jordy did in her freshman year. You remember the outward confidence. Look at the numbers she's been putting up. Just one hit allowed and getting ahead of everybody.
I mentioned it earlier, just fun to watch, compete, like Coach mentioned. Rhonda Revelle being a pitcher herself, Lori Sipple, pitcher themselves, they know what it's like to be in that circle and just to see that energy coming out. She's not afraid, she's not timid, she's energetic, she's passionate.
7, 8, 9 here in the order. She and Jordy Fromm actually share the same pitching coach, Darren Dubsky. She remembers back in the 8th grade, she actually met Jordy at a Scooters. Little hot chocolate and a chocolate chip cookie. First time she talked to one of her idols growing up.
She's been so good with that changeup today. I love that. I love the fact that now here she is playing right alongside.
And the way she said it too, she sounded like a little girl again. She's like sitting next to Jordy going, I look up to her.
Well, it's one of those instances, you know, some athletes have that ability to compete with everything going on in their head, and then others, like Alexis, according to her and her coaches, have that ability to just flush everything out of there. An innocence to it. What you don't know, and that's probably a good thing. And she has not backed down from any chance to get out there and hurl it.
How about the previous pitch? Is a backdoor curveball on the plate. She doesn't get the call. She doesn't freak out. She doesn't have a freshman moment. What does she do? She comes right back with a changeup and gets the swing and miss for the strikeout. Look at the way she sells this pitch. I mean, that's the key. The way that she just explodes through, and you can see just the way that Lucas is way out in front of that pitch. 6th strikeout.
She's gotten 4 of the last 5. Here's Ellie Pond, who walked in the 3rd.
At that sass. She walks to and from, because there's fearlessness, there's intimidation, and then there's a little bit of sass in there too.
It's another lope to swing out of the zone.
Just a whole lot of confidence, and you don't see that from freshman pitchers very often. Vic Moulton is another one that stands out. There's a reason why they do. It's the belief in themselves.
Well, in all likelihood, Kendall Wells at Oklahoma, who's hit 37 home runs, will be the National Freshman of the Year. But Alexis Jensen and probably Vic Moulton at Alabama would be the other 2 finalists for Freshman of the Year honors. Certainly would be in line for Freshman All-American honors. She's freed up Jordy to not have to throw all the time. She's freed up Jordy actually to come out of the bullpen a lot. They'll 1-2 punch opponents. And Jordy's going to be fresh deep into the NCAA tournament as far as they can go. How about 5 of the last 6 with a little sassafras on it?
Well, and this is a backdoor curveball. So she's going to work this on the outer half to Ellie Pond. And look at the movement on this pitch. So it starts off the plate, bends back in, and Farrell is just going to sell. And look at the sass. Look at the way that she's walking around. She's got those shoulders and arms going. And Jordy Ball celebrating that strikeout as well. 7th of the game.
She has taken care of business so far today. Here's the 9-hitter Haley Wilkinson. She has now struck out 7 of the 9 in the lineup after Jordy struck out everybody in the lineup in the win over GCU yesterday.
Well, think about Grand Canyon. They find out Alexis Jensen is starting. Their exhale. Okay, we do not have to face Jordy Fromm, one of the best pitchers in the country. And then here comes this freshman. Different look, and honestly, different types of strikeouts that we've seen. So they have both dealt this potent lineup.
Fly ball back to the track goes Hill, and it's another 1, 2, 3 inning. The home of the Women's College World Series. We head back to Oklahoma City, May 28th. And we're starting to get the Super Regional set. Here's a look at our bracket here in Lincoln. Nebraska 1 win away from hosting next weekend against either Oklahoma State or Stanford. An Emily Jones home run right now has Stanford up 1-0. Card would have to win twice, the Pokes once. Wouldn't that be something if native Nebraskan Ruby Malin came back here with the Pokes and tried to break Husker hearts in the Supers? Wow, what a story that would be.
She's played with so many of these Nebraska players. They know each other so well.
Former Prep Player of the Year in state, went to Scott Catholic. The Skyhawks with the Kaminson sisters spent her summer traveling with Jordy and Bella Bacon, who's at the plate right now. And Dad and Grandpa both were Nebraska footballers. Bella grounds to short, 1 down. Of course, our excellent research team found the photo proof for you of Ruby and Jordy, one-time teammates traveling around the country. Of course, there were a lot of rumors swirling around that when Ruby left Washington, that she might come home as well. Chose to go to Oklahoma State instead.
Familiarity.
It would already be bonkers around here. That would just turn it up a notch.
It would be double bonkers. And remember, Nebraska went down to Stillwater. They had a 3-game set. 1 game was rained out. So they played each other. They split. Oklahoma State won 1 game. Nebraska won 1 game.
Of course they did, just building up to the drama, the postseason. Exactly. And I'll tell you what, these Nebraska fans will be all over Ruby Malin, but Ruby Malin, if you were to pick a pitcher that absolutely wants that and loves it, it would be her.
Yeah, she's been a competitor for Oklahoma State.
Cammonson drops down a bunt. Got her, good scoop by Vickers. And here comes the tap. And here comes Jordy Fromm with Bella Bacon just a moment ago hitting for Alexis Jensen. That would also open the door for Jordy to come on and pitch here as well, but she'll swing the bat first.
Just a 1-0 lead right now, 6 outs. Get Grand Canyon. I wouldn't be surprised if Jordy comes in to pitch.
Singled in the first, got caught stealing. And then Addison Shiflett made a great diving catch of a fly ball out in right field, a robber of extra bases. On the very short list to win a second straight National Player of the Year honor. And then she will head off to play with the U.S. national team this summer. You see the 2020 club a year ago, she's close to that again. Nobody's done it twice. And of course, last year, Jordy's 2020 joined just a handful of others to do it. But she also hit 400 last year, and none of the other pitchers had done that. So she continues to make history at 2 different places. And of course, she would also be the first ever to win a title as an ace pitcher at 2 different schools if they go on to win that championship. To short, good scoop catch made by Wilkinson. 1-2-3. GCU, time's running short. Trying to get the bats going after this. Alexis Jensen will depart after a terrific 5 innings of work and give way to the 4-time Conference Pitcher of the Year, Jordy Fromm, coming in the 6th. 6 outs away from the Super Regionals, but clinging to a 1-0 lead.
Fromm has been so good. Look at just 27 base on balls on the year. Such a great mix coming in behind the freshman Jensen.
This is the best chance right here for the Lopes, who have managed just 1 hit on the day, and here's the top of the order. But of course, against Jordy yesterday, they struck out 16 times and only had 1 hit.
Three of those strikeouts came with Sydney McCray up to bat right now, all on the screwball up and away.
Best season in school history. Can they keep it going for at least 1 more game later if they win this one? Mountain West champs have been so good in the clutch. They've already had a pair of extra inning walk-off wins this postseason. And last night against South Dakota in an elimination game, it was in the 6th inning that they hit a pair of home runs that proved to be critical.
Nice pitch. Fromm working all arm side to McCray.
She's been their catalyst, but has been prone to the strikeout this season. And Jordy gets her again.
Jordy Fromm, one of the best in the business at using that rise ball at the top of the zone, and that's how she just picks up the last strikeout. It is a rise ball with tight, sharp spin, but it's also the changeup. She uses that a lot as a setup pitch. Look at the way she's going to blend those pitches together so the grip looks the same, the release looks the same. The changeup, she sells it. Rise on the left, change on the right. That's what makes her so dominating in the circle.
Versus GCU, 7 innings of work, the career-high 16 strikeouts in the complete game shutout yesterday. The only time the Lopes have been held scoreless this year, and the Huskers are trying to do it to them again for the 2nd time in 24 hours.
Fromm is so good following Jensen. This is a 15th time, I should say, that they've done this. 34 innings pitched for Fromm in this particular situation. An ERA .41, 48 strikeouts in 34 innings. So just so good.
Reagan Holtorf and Ellie Pond are the only 2 Lopes with a hit off of Nebraska yesterday and today.
A lot of it comes down to the chase. Both these Nebraska pitchers have done a great job of getting Grand Canyon to expand the zone.
They've retired 11 straight. One, 2 from Jordy. Drop 3rd strike.
And just to your point, power pitchers like to throw against power hitting teams because they tend to strike themselves out. You can get them to chase.
From almost at 50% chase against Grand Canyon in the start yesterday.
It's just the dynamics of it. Power hitting teams don't become power hitting teams by keeping the bat on their shoulder. They're usually free swingers. And so when you face up against a power pitcher, you put that ball right on that spot where you can get them to run it out of the zone. Swing at it out of the zone.
Just like that. Back-to-back strikeouts that the Lopes should have let go.
Yeah, those are rise balls. They get up in your eye and they just look so hittable until you get halfway through your swing and you realize I can't stop. And Jensen just loving what she sees from her senior counterpart.
Jordy trying to strike out the side in front of the home crowd and get 3 outs away from a spot in the Supers next weekend. Oklahoma State has tied up the game with Stanford at 1 apiece. The winner of that Super Regional going on in Stillwater would face the winner of this Super Regional. Texas Tech has gone up 2-0 on Ole Miss. Oklahoma now 7-1 over Michigan. And Florida State trailing UCF in their if necessary game 4-2 in the 5th. Another seed in big trouble. Oregon is already out, the 14 seed. And here's Jada Cooper, 1-1.
Cooper way in the back of the box and away from the plate, knowing they've been attacking her on the inner half.
Also throw the changeup on the inner half. Get her to chase that as well.
Cooper now starts this group that can tie the game with one swing. But just 8 home runs hit off of Jordy all year in 162 innings. Walked her. Tying run aboard. Go ahead at the plate for GCU. Against Jordy Fromm, who is appearing in her 21st NCAA tournament game with a 12-2 record and a sub-1 ERA in her postseason history, which includes the 2023 Women's College World Series Most Outstanding Player Award. There you see her numbers. She's been in the top 10 in ERA in all 4 seasons. And she and Nigeri Kennedy, the only active players to boast of that. Bria Williams is the pinch runner. Cooper can re-enter. And now Martin with 2 down. Went for the lead with 1 swing.
Rise ball and then the screwball away. Watch Jordy go to that screwball to try to get Chase off the plate to these lefties. Trinity Martin still trying to be conscious of that front foot. Got called out at her first at bat. You can tell she keeps looking down at her feet as she gets in the box. So something she's having to think about while trying to hit.
Strikeouts in the inning for Jordy coming out of the bullpen. And what a weekend she is having against the Lopes. 19 in her 2 appearances.
Jordy Fromm using that rise ball so effectively against the Lopes. Up in the zone, getting in the swing through it. 19 strikeouts for Jordy Fromm against the Lopes.
Softball Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Last time they were at the Women's College World Series, the Huskers 2013, led by Tatum and Taylor Edwards that year. And Alicia Armstrong, Emily Lockman, Brooke Thomas. The program history, 7 World Series apps, 3 of them under Rhonda Revelle. And as a 4 seed, they obviously are one of the favorites to get back this year. But this is the big question mark. Struggled to hit and score in the first 2 games, and a similar story here today. Just a 1-0 lead. Their pitching has been spectacular. 2, 3, and 4 coming up.
And that's what we've seen a lot of. It's been a lot of the bottom of the ball, pop-ups, can of corn. I mean, they have hit the ball hard at times today, and they've been kind of atoms. They've hit it right at GCU. But 100%, this is a club that is capable of doing a lot more damage.
Somebody need a sweatshirt?
I guess so. It's a little warm, but
It's like 90.
Might be a windbreaker on a windy
Cool
afternoon.
with that.
1 and 2 now to Hannah Core. She has flown out a couple of times.
In the middle of the at-bat, too. It's like a timeout. I have to put this on. I think it's more of a superstition thing.
I think so, too.
I would hope.
I would hope.
Because it is like 90 degrees.
Got the mittens there for when people get on runners.
There we go.
Base.
Well, now they're
Oh,
matching.
matching.
Now they're matching.
Okay. Matching. Rally shirts.
I think that's Herbie Husker that they're wearing now. The rally sweatshirt.
Rhonda has embraced this year.
Base hit! And Core is aboard.
Herbie Husker coming through for Hannah Core. Good thing you got both shirts going in this one. Had you not had both coaches, I don't know if Hannah Core gets a hit on this one because the superstitions are real in softball. But Hannah Core, 3rd extra base hit in 3 games for her. She's been red hot.
Hannah and Herbie hooking up for the base knock. Here's Hannah Kamensen. No place more superstitious than where they got bats and balls and skin infields and
It's
home
real.
run fences, and
Clearly.
you don't mess with it. How about our Capital One rewarding performance? Is it the sweatshirt? No, it's the Kamensen home run.
This is back in the 1st inning, and this is the difference of the game. The senior Kamensen got it done. A solo shot back in the 1st. No run since.
Now remember, Jordy Fromm was thrown out trying to steal right before that. That would have been a 2-run
Yes,
shot instead of
ma'am.
a solo shot. A little more breathing room. I think it's imperative for the Huskers to do something here.
Absolutely. I mean, Grand Canyon, I know they've been quiet, but 91 home runs on the season. The wind is blowing out. Just takes one swing to tie this thing. Nice job by Tinley Lucas behind the plate. We've seen her throwing out base runners, block balls. She's been working. Remember, 4th game, she's catching here in 3 days.
2-2 from Vickers. Kamensen pulls that to 2nd. 1 down. And Core into scoring position. Hey, ESPN is the home of MLB.TV. Stream every out-of-market game live or on demand using the ESPN app. Blackout and other restrictions apply. For more information, go to ESPN.com/MLBTV. Pitching change afoot here. And a standing O for the Lopes ace Oakley Vickers from the folks that have made the trip to Phoenix, from Phoenix. And a 1-0 ball game. Back in a moment.
senior into pitch. Pressure situation for her, but she's been good in this regional tournament. 40 base on balls, so her 97 strikeouts. Take a look at her pitch usage. It's usually down in the zone. She's got a great drop ball, around 58 miles an hour, so she's going to have that spin, trying to roll ground balls 27% of the time with that drop, the curve ball, as well as the changeup. And she uses that changeup 21% of the time, but earlier in this tournament, she was using that against Nebraska up to 36% of the time, trying to keep the Huskers off balance.
That was the pitch yesterday against them, was that changeup. Kept their bats pretty quiet.
Here's Ava Kuzak, the number 4 hitter, with Core out at second.
And there it is, first pitch change. If I'm anyone on the Cornhusker team right now, I'm sitting change.
And she'll throw it high. She will deliver it in a zone she doesn't want to or intends to, but she throws that pitch up.
Opposite way, and a nice grab by Jada Cooper for the double up. Last chance coming for GCU as we head to the 7th in a tight one in Lincoln. For the Lopes of Grand Canyon, a record-breaking regular season. They've hit a ton of home runs, so they're always just one swing away. And a 9-run comeback in the Mountain West title game. They walked it off in extras. They also have a walk-off win in extras here. They did it to South Dakota last night, and they are down to their final at-bat to try and force an if-necessary game later. And they have to get through Jordy Fromm to do it. She has been masterful. 3 strikeouts in her 1 inning of relief work in the 6th. And now here in the 7th, it's Gonzalez, Shiflett, and Lucas. In 17 games of relief work, she has not given up a run in the 7th inning since March 7th, over 2 months ago.
Watch her attack these righties. Remember, big part of the order right here. Emily Gonzalez had the home run yesterday, but watch her get in that kitchen. Really try to jam her up.
And get into the netting. And hit the netting before the glove.
And that's one of the things that she does so well, because she's got the changeup that Smitty has talked about as well, the rise ball, which is a beautiful pitch. But to me, it's her ability to use that angle to get into these righties. I mean, that screwball is lethal. In fact, Gonzo Emily Gonzalez just fouled one off her shin 2 pitches ago. That gets in your head.
One and two.
There's the changeup, that one at 57 miles an hour. One of the things that makes her changeup so effective is she keeps that spin rate really high, really elite, just like her rise ball.
She, Jordy Fromm, and 5 other players in the starting lineup started their careers elsewhere and all came back home to Nebraska. She was the first. The others followed. They wanted to build something special in their home state. They have done just that. And they want to keep the connection going with this spectacular crowd in Lincoln. They are 3 outs away from treating each other to another weekend of softball in the Super Regionals for the first time in school history. They want to send forth to the rest of the contenders to fear the ear here in Lincoln.
And a great take. Emily Gonzalez just above the zone. We've seen the chase be the problem for Grand Canyon. Heck of an at-bat right here.
Emily Gonzalez, one of the seniors, one of the pillars of this record-breaking team for GCU. Swing and a miss. Jordy has struck out 4 of the 5 she's faced.
Just so much movement. She's been using all of her pitches, really setting up with the changeup. But this ball is a curve on the outer half. She gets that late sharp break. You can see the way she snaps around her body. 4th strikeout for Jordy Fromm.
Here's Addison Shiflett. Hits her. Tying run aboard. Go ahead will come to the plate. And it's one of their home run hitters from last night, Tinley Lucas.
Tinley Lucas had the big walk-off hit, remember, too, in the tournament when they came back to win down 9-0. And then yesterday, this put them ahead. Tie game 2-2. This made it 3-2 over to the scoreboard. She knew it, flipped the bat. Massive home run down here in the 7-hole for Lucas.
To hit a home run for Nebraska in the 1st inning.
That was the pitch.
And there has not been much going on for either side since. That has allowed the Lopes to hang around.
Lucas just missed that last pitch.
I think it was middle in. And that's what is so hard right now, is you hear the crowd, you feel the adrenaline. Jordy able to handle that. She loves these pressure moments. Tinley Lucas, you can tell she's trying to stay calm, but she's jumpy in that batter's box.
Lucas out into shallow center, and that's going to find some grass. And the throw into second by Core gets the force out because the base runner Shiflett was waiting to see if that would get caught. 2 down.
This is a tough read, but you got to get more off the bag if you're Addison Shiflett. She actually went back to first base. You're not tagging on this. There's no reason to go back. Because of that, you watch the runner, watch her go back to first. No reason to go back to first. Once she does that, she's out at second.
Yeah, that is a freshman mistake, base running mistake. And I love the fact that Hannah Core saw immediately, let that ball bounce, picked it up, and got the force out at second. That is a massive change of events.
So now the Huskers 1 out away, and they have to deal with Ellie Pond. A walk and a strikeout today for Ellie, but she too had a home run yesterday.
Lori Sippel out to talk to Jordy Fromm and also to Jessie, the catcher. Trying to get her to focus on that changeup, not go through it.
Remember, Ellie Pond had the only hit against Jordy Fromm yesterday. Perfect numbers against everyone else in this lineup, but Ellie saw her well.
Morgan Campbell is the pinch runner over at first base, the tying run here in the top of the 7th. The goal all year long, be good enough during the regular season to host a super regional to get to the World Series. They're 1 out away. The starter, Jensen, looking on.
It's a great pitch on the inner half. Freezes Pond after the changeup.
And now down to a final strike.
Jordy up to 70 miles an hour. She's been sitting upper 60s, kicking in another gear, feeling this thing's about to end. She can get the strikeout here.
Doesn't get her to chase. The runner will take second.
I think it hit her.
Pond saying it hit her foot, and they're saying come on back. Shannon Hayes says let's review.
It's a changeup.
That's intentional.
That looked intentional.
She's in the batter's box.
At first it looked like she was trying to get out of the way, and then she moved her foot into the path of the ball. But she is in the batter's box, and the ball is in the batter's box. You don't have to move out of the way when the ball is in the batter's box.
Most likely going to give her first base. And, you know, in slow motion, it definitely looks more intentional, maybe real speed. She's just trying to move, but...
And remember, the umpire was not giving her first base. He was bringing her back.
Yeah, that's the challenge has come from GCU.
Right.
Now the crowd seeing the intentionality of what just happened.
As it stands, they want her to come back to the plate. The base runner then would, I believe, would still be allowed to stay at second as a stolen base.
And it's taken a while.
Yeah, does that become like a dead ball and she's got to go back? Yep.
Yeah. But it's taken a while right now, and what's telling me this is they're trying to probably figure out, because she was more intentional, is there some part of the rule that would bring her back to the plate?
Yeah.
Because it definitely hits her. So that should take 2 seconds.
And she's in the box, so she does not have to move out of the way.
Correct.
Yep.
The question is, can she move into the way? So would it have hit her?
Or is there any replay that suggests she's trying to move out of the way?
That would be no. She's definitely not trying to move out of the way by kicking her back foot. I get the front foot, but you don't kick your back foot up on a changeup unless you're trying to get to that ball. But she didn't come out of the box to do it. It's
you could see it going either way.
Well, we've been saying for years that even if you're in the batter's box, you should have to make an attempt to get out of the way. But they have not changed that rule over the years, even though we've been asking for it.
Especially with all the gear that hitters wear. They have more of a tendency to move into pitches instead of away from pitches.
After review, the call of the field changed. It was hit by pitch.
So runners on first and second.
I mean, you cannot like it, but it's a hit by pitch. And these fans are furious because they saw, Allie Pond. She's excited.
It's the second hit batter in this inning.
Now we get to the bottom of the order here, and Haley Wilkinson. They're going to go with the pinch hitter. Thatcher. Alina Satcher.
Tying run out at second base, the go ahead at first with 2 down. Satcher fouls the first one off.
Satcher's been good as a pinch hitter. 9 for 30.
4 home runs. She's already come in for a single here in this tournament.
They were the victim of a clutch pinch hit last night against South Dakota. Can they come up with one of their own against Nebraska? And once again, Fromm has them down to a final strike. For a spot in the Supers. Satcher stays in it.
She's late on everything right now, and normally Jordy going to that changeup, but you kind of don't want to here because that bat path is slow. It's definitely more to the speed of a changeup than anything harder.
Yeah, you got to be thinking rise, curve away, something hard through the zone.
Struck her out to end it. And for the first time in school history, Nebraska will host a Super Regional next weekend. Jensen strikes out 7 as the starter. Jordy strikes out 5 in relief. And they hold on to win it 1-0.
Jordy Fromm just showing that she is truly a superstar. Amazing year for GCU, but this is an excited Cornhusker program. Rhonda Revelle, Lori Sipple working so hard to get their Cornhuskers into a super regional at home for the first time.
And Jordy hit 2 batters in that inning, and then she just locks in, rears back, and straight blew it by the pinch hitter. And that just shows you what Jordy Fromm is made of. She is made for the postseason, and you guys, she gets even better this time of year, and that's what she's showing as they're going to host their very first super regional next weekend.
Cannons in first inning, home run, holds up, and then Fromm seals the deal.
And Jordy Fromm was just good in her 2 innings of relief. This is a rise ball perfectly placed at the top of the zone. She gets the swing and miss on the pinch hitter. And first out of the dugout, of course, is freshman Alexis Jensen to give the celebration underway with Jordy Fromm.
Oh, look at that. Just her pure joy, looking up to Jordy since high school. She gets to start this game, and Jordy Fromm comes in to finish it.
Hugs for the Huskers. And they await the winner of Oklahoma State and Stanford. We'll take you to that game coming up shortly.
I'll tell you what, though, moving forward, Nebraska, they can't give these pitchers much of a scared. One run in this game, and they hold on. Hannah Cammon's in that major home run back in the first inning, and they do it. They get to supers. The one thing they're going to work on this week is definitely more run production.
Barreling that ball up, as Coach was talking about. They'll work on that offense.
They talked about it right from the start of the season. Begin with the end in mind. The end is getting closer, and they get to stay home for a super regional on Rhonda Revelle Field. And they will take on Oklahoma State or Stanford next weekend. Let's get you to that game with Trey Bender and Natasha Watley.